Okay, we're going to talk a little bit today about a book that's being used here in central Oklahoma to align with the Common Core state standards. And this is a book called What Your Fourth Grader Needs to Know, Fundamentals of a Good Fourth Grade Education by Hirsch. Hirsch is the progenitor of something called the Core Knowledge series. He developed this Core Knowledge curriculum, and he has edited this particular book. The Core Knowledge is not the Common Core state standards. The Core Knowledge curriculum is a set of curriculum that students should know, and he has one for what students should know in first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, etc. It's just a particular set of information that children should know by this particular age group. They're really not bad books. I've taught the core knowledge sequence in seventh grade science. That he is really he's pretty good about including a lot of really good material. But what we found in this fourth grade book is a little concerning and something that you need to be aware of as parents. This book was actually written, I believe, in 2004, or was copyrighted in 2004. It's an older book, but because of the fact that Hirsch is a proponent of Common Core state standards, his books are being used in Common Core classrooms around the country and in Oklahoma specifically. The kind of upsetting thing about this particular book, and the thing that I want to talk to you about today, is that this is a chapter on history and geography, and on page 80 it goes into the barbarians, and then on 81, why are the Dark Ages really so dark, and then the rise of the Christian church, and it talks a little bit about the Christian church in the early Middle Ages and what was going on in there, and and then it just says at the top of the next page, as time went on, conflicts developed between the Eastern followers of the church who spoke Greek and the Westerners who spoke Latin, and in 1054 the two sides split in a quarrel about beliefs. And then it just basically talks a little bit about monks, and at the end says, beginning in the year 800, church leaders and monasteries started schools for children, and about 300 years later the church established the first universities. And that's about all we get for Christianity in this particular book, so about a page. So then we go over to, we see Charlemagne, and we see feudalism, and then we go into lords and castles, life in a castle, and a little bit about some medieval things, and then we get over to page 93, and it says the end of the Middle Ages, and then when you turn the page on 94, it talks about the rise of Islam, and then it begins for the next number of pages, the Prophet Muhammad, trouble in Mecca, Muhammad's return, the Quran, the 5 pillars of Islam, spreading the word of Islam, the Crusades, and basically ends on page 100. So you have about a page devoted to Christianity, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages devoted to Islam. And again, I don't want to completely say these books are horrible. That's not what I'm trying to say here. I'm trying to say that this really is an uneven treatment of religion in this particular book, and it may be something that you or your family is not particularly comfortable with, and you need to know what's going on in your classroom. And this is this particular book, What Your Fourth Grader Needs to Know, Fundamentals of a Good Fourth Grade Education, edited by Common Core proponent E.D. Hirsch, Jr.